Hi, I'm Ruth Dooley. I'm a tax partner at Hazelwood's Accountants, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown on today's budget.
Thank you, Ruth. What are your initial thoughts on today's budget?
Well, it was the first Monday budget since 1962. Philip Hammond made it clear that therefore it was breaking new ground, and it did break new ground in quite a few ways. Different groups will benefit from this budget. Originally, it was thought that there wouldn't be much in it, but there were a lot of announcements of expenditure, particularly on the National Health Service, the Ministry of Defence. There was new spending announced for schools and for infrastructure and for recycling plastics. But there was no tax announced on beverage cups, which some people thought might happen. There's also a 2% digital tax coming in, which was widely forecast, but it's actually only affecting the really big companies, so it's not going to be something that impacts too much on the high street. The big announcement, though, was the bringing forward of the personal allowance of £12,500 from 2020 to 2019, a year earlier than had been forecast, which is, according to the government figures, going to put an extra £1,000 in the pockets of those who benefit from the personal allowance.
Thank you. Were there any surprises today?
I don't think there were any real surprises. Before the budget, it had been suggested that there might be a restriction on tax relief for pension contributions, but that's something that's said every year, and maybe it's said by pension advisors to encourage people to put money into their pensions before the budget, who knows? But that didn't happen. There was no real changes on pensions or on savings. There was speculation also that entrepreneurs' relief might be hit in this budget, but again, that didn't really get affected in terms of some changes to it in terms of the length of time that you have to hold the shares or the business interest before you get entrepreneurs' relief, extending from 1 year to 2 years, and also a change to the qualifying conditions for some people who've got interests in businesses and in shares.
Thank you. What do you think the main impact on businesses will be?
Well, in addition to the measures I've talked about already, rates, of course, business rates is something that has really hit the high street hard. And the Chancellor announced a decrease in the rates of a third, which is going to affect a lot of businesses, the independent ones. About 90% he considered of independent retail outlets or restaurants or cafes are going to benefit from this reduction in the business rates. There's also the extension of the annual investment allowance that allows you businesses to buy plant and equipment and to get 100% relief on them in the year of purchase. The limit for that per year was 200,000. That's actually being extended to £1 million. So that's quite a considerable hike in the AIAs. The Chancellor also announced that rates would be going down on public loos, and this gave him a chance to show his real toilet humour. He talked about local authorities being relieved and not getting bogged down in the details, and he also commented that it was the only part of his budget that hadn't been leaked.
Thank you, Ruth.